Hello, my name's Kelly Lemon and this is a Property Investor News interview with Jonathan Stein. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for bringing us to one of your projects that you're currently working on. So, Jonathan, tell us a bit about this property, when you bought it, what you bought it for and what the plans are.
So I completed on the purchase just before Christmas, or was it early Jan, I can't quite remember. And originally I bought this property to put straight into auction. The property, 2-3 bed mid-terraced house, which a first time buyer was buying, or at least attempting to buy. However, given the condition which you can see, first time buyer did not get finance. The agent who I'd built up a relationship with called me the day it fell through. It sounded perfect from the way they described it over the phone, and 2 days later I was here viewing and I'd done my numbers. The property had been on the market. The first time buyer was buying it for 300,000, and I did my numbers, looked at all the comparable properties, and I wanted to buy it for 250,000. So in fact in the room upstairs, I said to the agent I needed it at 250. He told me that day that the vendor had turned down a cash offer of 280, but something about the way he told me that didn't ring true with me. So I said to him, look, you've convinced me that 250 is probably a bit too cheeky, but I'd like you to put an offer forward of 265 cash. I'll be ready to exchange within a few days. And I showed him the cash funds on my phone, and he asked me to put the offer in writing on an email, so I did that. Also in the room upstairs, sent him the email. The next day the vendor accepted it without question.
And who was the vendor in this situation?
It was actually two brothers. It was kind of a probate but not a probate. When the house came onto the sale, the vendor was alive. By the time I came to purchasing it, he passed away. But they put everything into place where we actually managed to, even though he kind of passed away during the process, they managed to bypass the probate official route. Not sure exactly what that was. But yeah, so luckily we managed to proceed straight away rather than potentially having to wait a number of months to get the probate sorted. So it was two brothers just looking to sell. Obviously didn't have the inclination to do the work that is quite clearly involved with the property.
So you bought this, and what were your plans for it?
So my plans for it were quite straightforward. Next door property had sold in May of 2015 for 350,000. The main difference between next door and this property is that there's a slight extension to the side and rear. And I just looked at it and thought, well, that was May, we're now December, January 16, prices have gone up a little bit. You know, if I can buy it at 265, given next door sold for 350, taking into account the cost of the refurb, there's still going to be a bit of margin in there for somebody to do the work and possibly sell it on or live in it. I spoke to the agent about that, and they completely agreed with me, and they actually said, we're in an area here where there's high capital growth. We're on the London Underground, the tube station's about a mile down the road, and the agent said to me if the house that had sold next door for 350 was coming onto the market again in December, January, they would be putting it on at 400,000. So buying it at 265 clearly told me there's a lot of margin in there. I estimated the cost of work to be around 60,000. So there's enough margin in there for somebody potentially to make from doing the work and selling it on. But realistically, I still thought an owner occupier could quite possibly buy this at auction.
So what many investors will be watching this video wanting to ask, which is, why not keep it yourself? Why not do the work, refinance, pull some of your funds out, and keep this as an asset for the long term?
Well, initially, auction trading is my first thought. Bank the quick capital as quickly as possible, and obviously without doing any work. It's quite a nice transaction. However, you're quite right, with the new tax laws that are on the horizon, given that I've actually bought this property within my limited company as opposed to my personal name, I do actually have the opportunity of now keeping it, and that is exactly what I'm evaluating it right now. Realistically, given the rental income, probably wouldn't keep it as a single let property. but there is an opportunity to make a 5, possibly 6 bedroom house of multiple occupation, or possibly actually convert the building to 2 2-bedroom flats.